A clerk publicly humiliated her, accusing her of theft. Security called the police, and the crowd hurled racist insults at her. No one suspected that this woman owned the entire chain of stores. What happened next would shock even the most jaded observers. But let's start from the beginning. Monica Hill, owner of a major store chain, walked into one of her branches unannounced, wearing a MAGA cap to test how staff treated customers. Jason, a new clerk, noticed her immediately. Her calm demeanor and detailed browsing made him suspicious. When Monica placed a tube of cream in her bag to free her hands, Jason loudly accused her of stealing. "You're stealing! Show me your bag!" Shoppers froze. Monica stayed calm, asking them to check the cameras. "We can see everything," Jason insisted. "Just admit it," the crowd murmured, some making racist remarks. A young black employee began recording the scene. Jason called for police, but Monica made her own call. "This is Monica Hill. Send a manager to the store immediately." Jason, thinking she was bluffing, pressed harder as tension rose and more phones came out to record. The situation grew more heated. Monica, holding her phone to her ear, waited calmly for the manager to arrive. The crowd buzzed with speculation. Jason, refusing to lose the upper hand, shouted, "See? She's not even denying it. Call the police." The security guard, visibly nervous, used his radio to contact the local precinct, reporting a theft. Several customers, including an elderly white woman, loudly supported Jason. "Finally, someone's doing something about people like her. They think they can do whatever they want." Monica exhaled deeply, but did not respond. Instead, she tried once more to reason. "I can prove this is a misunderstanding. Review the security footage before jumping to conclusions." Jason interrupted her again. "We don't need cameras. It's obvious. How much have you stolen before this?" The young black employee recording the incident intervened. "Jason, maybe that's enough? We don't even know if she actually took anything." "You're going too far." Jason snapped back. "Too far? Look at her hat. These people only cause trouble." The crowd began to split. Some sided with Monica, accusing Jason of overreacting, while others defended him, saying he was just doing his job. At that moment, a sleek car pulled up outside. A middle-aged white man in an expensive suit stepped out, the regional manager, summoned by Monica. His serious demeanor suggested he understood the gravity of the situation. He entered the store and immediately recognized Monica. His face changed as the realization hit him. "Ms. Hill, what's going on here?" he asked, his voice trembling slightly. Monica turned to him and said calmly, "Ah, you're here. It seems one of your employees is convinced I'm stealing. Perhaps you could explain to him who I am." Jason looked confused. "Wait, who is she?" The manager fixed Jason with a cold, piercing stare and said slowly, "She's your boss, the owner of this entire chain." The crowd fell silent. Jason's face turned pale, and his mouth opened slightly as if to speak, but no words came out. The security guard lowered his radio, his expression filled with regret. The elderly woman who had loudly criticized Monica awkwardly turned away, trying to slip out unnoticed. Monica, noticing Jason's stunned expression, continued, "I came here incognito to observe how my staff treats customers. And what did I see? Humiliation and blatant discrimination." The young employee recording on his phone asked, "Do you want me to keep filming?" "Not right now," Monica replied. "We'll address this first." Jason stammered, trying to defend himself. I didn't know. It was a mistake." But Monica raised her hand, silencing him. "Let's begin by admitting this wasn't a mistake. This was deliberate bias." The atmosphere shifted dramatically. All eyes were on Monica, as everyone waited to see what would happen next. Jason stands with his head lowered, the weight of the crowd's stares pressing heavily on him. His voice trembles as he attempts to justify his actions. "I didn't mean to. I thought I was just doing my job." Monica, her arms crossed over her chest, responds sharply. "Your job? Your duty is to treat all customers with respect, not to pass judgment based on appearances, or in my case, The color of my skin. The manager steps closer, his expression tight with frustration. Jason, this is an unbelievable embarrassment for our company. We'll review the security footage, but it appears your actions were entirely unfounded. The crowd begins to stir, murmurs growing louder as people discuss what they've heard. One customer speaks up. This is always how it goes. Bias, plain and simple. Turning to the crowd, Monica raises her voice to ensure everyone hears her. I don't want this to just end as a scandal. I want us all to take something meaningful from this. You've all witnessed what prejudice looks like. We all make mistakes, but it's moments like this that force us to reflect. The young employee who had been recording the incident speaks up. The video's already online. People need to see what really happened here. Let them see it, Monica replies firmly. I want the truth to come out. At that moment, the manager's phone buzzes. He glances at the screen and looks up with a mixture of concern and disbelief. The video's already gone viral. Tens of thousands of views. The media is starting to pick up the story. Sliding his phone into his pocket, he adds gravely, Jason, if you want even the slightest chance to salvage your reputation, you need to apologize. Realizing he has no way out, Jason turns slowly to Monica. His voice is strained as he struggles to find the right words. I'm sorry, he says haltingly. I wasn't thinking. What I did was wrong. Monica studies him, her expression steady and contemplative. Apologies are a beginning, but they're not enough. You need to understand that your actions weren't just a mistake. They were the product of a system that teaches people to judge others by their appearance. The crowd, hearing this, breaks into applause. A few people shout words of encouragement. The elderly woman who had earlier supported Jason now murmurs quietly, She's right. We're all too quick to judge. The young employee with the phone chimes in. This video isn't just about this store. It's going to show that we need real change. Monica turns back to Jason. Now, I want to hear what you're willing to do to make this right. Jason takes a deep breath, visibly grappling with his emotions. I'm willing to learn, he says finally, to understand how to avoid making mistakes like this again. The crowd begins to disperse, the tension in the air replaced by a sense of reflection and awareness. Monica watches them go, understanding that the first step toward meaningful change has been taken. A few days after the incident, the event in the store becomes the headline of the day. The video has garnered millions of views, sparking conversations nationwide about how prejudice damages society. Monica seizes the moment to push for meaningful change. She calls an emergency meeting of the company's leadership team to discuss reforms to corporate policy. In the conference room, regional managers sit quietly, including Jason, who has been allowed to attend at Monica's insistence. She wants him to witness firsthand the broader consequences of his actions. Monica begins the meeting by playing clips from the viral video. This is not just the mistake of one employee, she says firmly. This is a systemic problem, and we must eliminate it. She announces the launch of a comprehensive program for employee training on bias and inclusion. Anyone who interacts with customers needs to understand how their behavior impacts the lives of others, Monica continues. Most managers nod in agreement, but one older man raises a concern. This could cost us a lot of money. Monica looks at him steadily and replies, The cost of change is always high, but the cost of doing nothing is even higher. Jason, seated quietly in the corner, suddenly stands. All eyes turn to him. Clearing his throat, he begins to speak hesitantly. I've realized just how wrong I was. The video showed me what I looked like to others, and it was horrifying. I'm ready to be part of this program and to help train others so that no one makes the same mistakes I did. Monica looks at him thoughtfully, her expression unreadable at first. Then she nods. Very well. You will be the first to go through the training. If you succeed, you'll become an example for others. Later that evening, in her office, Monica reviews comments on the video. Thousands of messages flood in, praising her not just for holding people accountable, but for striving to address the root of the issue. Many thank her for turning a moment of humiliation into an opportunity for progress. Meanwhile, Jason begins his training. The first day is challenging. He listens to stories from Black employees and other minorities about the discrimination they faced. Hearing their first-hand accounts is a turning point for him, forcing him to confront the damage caused by bias. Months later, the store chain announces a sweeping equality policy, accompanied by the creation of a fund to support anti-discrimination initiatives. Monica becomes a national figure, praised for her leadership and commitment to systemic change. Jason's journey is highlighted as a powerful example of how even deeply ingrained prejudices can be transformed through education and self-reflection. Final scene. Monica stands before a large gathering of employees, her voice clear and confident as she addresses them. Jason sits in the front row, his demeanor transformed, humble, attentive, and determined. Today, we take the first step toward a better future, Monica says. Each of us must take responsibility. Together, we can make this change happen. The room erupts in applause. The story concludes not merely as a lesson for one individual, but as the beginning of a broader transformation within the company and beyond.